Hi Adriana, so just a quick video to talk through the two questions you sent in. So I'm actually going to address your second question first, just because it's a little bit easier. So what we're going to do is to assign just a kind of code to each participant. We're actually going to use a random number generator to give our participants just a random number between like numbers that you specify so that you can kind of just give them a specific code if necessary. So what we would do in this case is, say for example this is the survey that I asked my participants for their question or for their answers on. I'm going to click into survey flow and I'm going to assign this in a embedded data. So if I click add a new element here and do embedded data, I'm just going to call this number, or maybe I want to call it code or ID. You can call that whatever you want. I'm going to move this up to the very top of my survey flow so that they get that immediately as soon as they enter the survey. Then I'm going to send you a link to our support page on how to set up something called the random number generator. And I'm just going to grab this piece of code for now. And I'm just going to set the value and I'm going to paste this piece of code in here. So I'll be giving you the web page for this, but basically this will generate a random number between this and this. So I'm just going to set up, maybe I want it to be between 1000. Sorry, that should be there. Between 1000 and then maybe 9999. Nice wide number. So each participant that comes in will be given a random number between these. Obviously, the larger you do it, the less of a chance you're going to get duplicates. But if you're not expecting that many participants, then you don't have to worry too much about that. So this will add an extra column to your data called number, and it will show you what each person's code was. So you have that in your data automatically as you've added embedded data. If you want to display this to your participants, say for example you need to display it at the end of the survey for them, what we would be doing is we would pipe in the text for this. So I'm just going to save this flow. And then say for example I want to set up an end of survey, a custom end of survey message. I would go in here and do custom end of survey message. For now I'm just going to add it down in the very last question of my survey. So I'm just going to click into the question text. I'm going to go to pipe text and I'm just going to go to embedded data, and then I type in my embedded data field, which is number with a capital N because it is case sensitive. I'm going to click insert, and this will paste in that random number that they've been assigned, so you can give this to your participants. You do the exact same if you're doing this in an end of survey element, but I'm just adding it into the last question of my survey. So you can say your code is, and then this. And that's how you would assign a random number to each participant and also have it in your data. So then your second question was actually for people who do want to take part in a follow-up survey or want to take part in a prize draw, but you don't want to link their response to, or their name and details to their response. What we would usually do in this situation is we would actually set up a redirect at the end of our survey. We would ask all of our questions. We would then ask at the kind of the very end, would you like to take part in a prize draw / would you like to take part in a follow-up survey? If they say yes, we would then redirect them to a second survey which asks for their details, because these are not linked. So you will not be able to link each person's details back to their response from the original survey. So I'll just quickly talk through how to do this. And then obviously you can put this code in the second one if you need, or you can keep it in the first. That's completely up to you. So I'm just going to turn this into a would you like to take part question. I'm going to make it just two choices, horizontal, yes and no. Then what I would do is I would click into survey flow. I would add a new element here and I would add a branch. And I would say if yes is selected for this final question, I'm going to click OK. I'm going to add a new element here and I'm going to add an end of survey message. Then I would click into customize. I would override the survey options, and then I would choose redirect to a URL. So what we're now going to do is we're going to go ahead and go make our second survey which asks for their details, and then we would grab the anonymous link for that survey and paste it in here so it redirects those people who say yes to the second survey. And everyone who just says no will just continue on just down to the generic end of survey message here. So I'm going to click save. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new survey really quickly, just with a couple of questions, capture their details. So details. Then in here, I'm just going to add a quick form text entry style question that asks for name, email, and so on, whatever I really want in here. And once we have this survey done out, just to capture their information, we'll just go to distributions. We will get a single reusable link, or if you're in the old interface, you would just be brought to the page that asks, would you like to activate your survey, and this anonymous link will already be there. So then all we need to do is grab this anonymous link, then go back to our first survey, and then just put that into the redirect in our end of survey element. So customize and redirect to this survey. And save flow. So everyone who opts in will then go to the second survey, and maybe you want to leave a disclaimer in that second survey that just says this is in no way linked to your original response, just for peace of mind. So then you have their response and their information but kept completely separate. So I hope that answers your questions. If you do have questions on this or you need help setting anything up, just let me know.